Brian and Brandy, today I spoke with managers from a number of different departments about how they're preparing for the potential cuts. And they say if this sequestration goes through this week, the impact will definitely be felt all across the nation, including right here in Lane County. Healthcare, education, public safety. These are just some of the many areas that will be hit if Congress doesn't act by March 1st. Oregon Public Health will lose hundreds of thousands of dollars that help prevent and treat substance abuse.
Pretty broad-reaching cuts and programs that we don't like to see get hit because they're necessary, they're mandatory. These aren't the fat that's being trimmed down. We're starting to cut into the muscle and the bone here.
Lane County Public Health says the Women, Infants, and Children Program, or WIC, would be hit hardest. Cuts could mean a loss of services for nearly 100 people.
This is kind of, for lack of better terms, a domino effect. When we lose that initial number because of federal cuts, then it forces us to lose other funding.
That would impact the department's ability to get kids vaccinated. Children will be feeling the budget woes in the classroom, too. Oregon will lose about $10.2 million in funding for primary and secondary education. 4J is looking at up to at least $1 million, mostly Title I funding, but that impacts more than half of its schools. In Springfield, the sequester could mean up to several $100,000 less for classrooms and students. The cuts extend beyond K through 12. Lane County's Head Start will have to cut 2 classes, affecting about 60 kids.
It hurts our heart that there's over 500 children on the waiting list for Head Start, and there continues to be talk about cuts.
Last but not least, Oregon law enforcement will lose about $155,000 in justice assistance grants. Budget constraints and consequences are something familiar to the Lane County Sheriff's Office.
We're always thinking about budget, we're always looking at it, and we're always trying to figure out how we're going to be able to provide the services that the people of Lane County really deserve with the minimal amount of funding that we have.
Each of the departments we talked to says it's doing its best to prepare for situations like this, but that just won't be enough if the sequester goes into effect on Friday. Live in the studio, 901 KZI 9 News.